Division 2 qualifying here at M&Ms Super Speedway, ready to get underway. Good afternoon, everybody, as we are here at the track, the Super Speedway, just on the outskirts of Boston, Massachusetts, getting ready to get qualifying underway for the fourth race of the season. If you didn't tune into the Division 1 qualifying, we're at M&Ms. We were supposed to be at FTF, but there's some issues with the track not loading, so we just moved the schedule up a week, and race number 5 became race number 4. Thus, we are here at M&Ms Super Speedway. Also, if you didn't tune into the Division 1 qualifying session, you will not know that NNSCRA officials making round 1 only 10 minutes in length, which means these drivers have 5 less minutes to lay down one of the 10 fastest lap times to advance to round 2, which still will be 5 minutes in length. And if all goes well, we may end up at most tracks having it just be a 10-minute round 1 session. Made it awfully exciting in the first division qualifying round 1, no doubt about that. Came down to the wire with a few seconds remaining. A couple of drivers hopped up into the top 10 at the last minute. Expecting to see the same here today as we are concentrated on the California Highway Patrol number 56 Ford of Vince Almriego, who just took the green flag and will lay down the first official lap time of the day. Almriego, as I'm looking here, his best qualifying result this season, 11th at Daytona. Had a backup car, started 40th at Armory, and last week at Pigs Creek was 30th on the starting grid. He comes into this race 27th in points after he DNF'd last week at Pigs Creek as well. First lap time of the day is going to be a 47.199. We saw in Division 1 drivers that advanced to round 2 ran anywhere between 45.5s and 45.8s. So that's the lap times that these drivers are shooting for, and they can only be gotten if you are in a pack and with the benefit of the draft. Gotta wait a little bit, let it take some time for all these drivers getting out on track, bunching up, getting in packs to be able to see where the energy really is that's going to produce those fast lap times to make it into the top 10. Coming into this race, 3 races, 3 different winners. The most recent, Fury Gamington, not only picking up the win last week at Pigs Creek, but also picking up the points lead. He comes in with a 16-point gap between himself and Simon Solera. But Solera has been much better in qualifying than Gamington has so far this season. Of course, Caleb Farrell winning at Daytona, William Brock on fuel strategy winning at Armory Digital. So right now, those 3 sit in the coveted positions in the playoffs right now, the 8 playoff positions for Division 2. The other 5 currently in possession of the next 5 highest in the point standings without a win, which would include Simon Solera, William Flickinger, John Andrews, Chris Maley, and Nathan Stapleton. Right now, fastest on the board with a 45.5 already, and that is the 2 of Dylan Young. He's in a big group here, too. Alex Gray's here, Nathan Ormond, Jordan Lopez, there's Jake Galloway back there. Rob Evans, Kyle Langland, and Simon Bloomfield, who's at the tail end, just jumped up to the top with a 45.4. And I think, don't quote me on this, I think that might be good enough to make it to round 2 already for Simon Bloomfield, because I think Jake Rogers, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong. He might have run a 380, but I think Jake Rogers ran somewhere in the very low 45.5s. So right now, Bloomfield and Dylan Young could be in good shape to make it into the next round, although I don't remember seeing this big a pack in round 1, so they're producing a lot more speed than we saw in the first division. See if anybody jumps to the top this time, and nobody does. Nobody dethrones Bloomfield, but Evans, Galloway, Langland, Ormond, Lopez, all those guys in this pack up in the top 10 along with Alex Gray. Someone just jumped up there. Trey Wright just jumped up to 6th in the 34, and I believe he's in a different pack. I think he's right behind these guys, actually. There's Halleck, Turner, There's Brock, our Armory winner. There's the pack that Trey Wright is in. And wow, Sanford just jumped up there to 6th, so he must be in a good pack. John Andrews, Chris Maley, Patrick Smith in this group. Let's find the group that Sanford's in. See, in this group, yeah, he's with Benyako, Simon Solera, O'Neal Balvin, and that's Benny Watson in the blue car just behind them as well. Right now, Sanford, the only one out of this group that's up into the top 10. Balvin is 12th. This group's about to catch up to Levi McIntyre and a couple of others. Eric Sadler sits on pit road. Let's see if anybody from this group jumps up. Sanford up to 7th, Balvin up to 8th. And they're getting the benefit of the draft off this group. Josh Drake in the 66, McIntyre the 99, and Sadal Solera in the 30. I also noticed the 72 of Nathan Stapleton, who was up here, it looked like, by himself. Now he's not by himself, he's getting the draft off of Caleb Farrell and Carson Gum, but he's up in 9th, just hanging on with a 45.714. He almost beat that. He just ran about technically at 45.8 flat that last time by. William Flickinger, 16th fastest, just ran his fastest lap, 45.877, make it 17th as he just got dropped. Alex Benyako just jumped up into the top 10 to 8th. He's in that group with Charles Sanford and Benny Watson. 72 caught this group. Stapleton, let's see if his lap time improves at all. Just dropped to 13th as Jeff Scott moved into the top 10 in 8th. And improvement on Stapleton, he's up to 8th. Just dropped Scott down to 9th, Gray down to 10th, and that just eliminated Charles Sanford. There's Jeff Scott. He's in this group with Jesse Turner, Jake Halleck, Adam Garcia, and William Brock. Sadal Solera up to 2nd. Watson up to 3rd. Sanford up to 5th. For a little group, they are producing a heck of a lot of speed. Well, this is probably why. They've just added Levi McIntyre, Josh Drake, and Sadal Solera to their group. I think now we've got some drivers that are good to go in terms of making it to the next round with 2 minutes remaining. I think that Simon Bloomfield, Simon Solera, Benny Watson, Dylan Young, and Charles Sanford all just clinched themselves spots into the next round. Kyle Langland now on the hot seat, and I think he is in a group that's kind of broken up. Nathan Orman now up to 9th as well. Looking at Sadal Solera, he just ran his fastest lap, 46.093, but he's down in 29th. McIntyre in 34th. You got to think maybe he could produce a little bit of speed being at the tail end of this pack. Benny Watson running right behind him. Watson looks like he's good to make it to the next round. I think that'd be for the 2nd straight week, actually, for that 79 team. Oh, no, I guess not. He was 14th last week. I thought he made it into round 2, but I guess not. Maybe he got knocked down late. See if McIntyre improves enough. Does he get into the top 10? And 45.738. That's good enough to get up to 20th, but not good enough to get up into the top 10. Alex Gray just moved into the top 10, up to 9th. Langland got away from the danger zone. He's up to 6th. Right now it's O'Neal Balvin leading this group. He is the man on the hot seat in 10th. Balvin made it into round 2 last week. He was 6th on the starting grid at Pigs Creek. Watching these guys back here, Benyako 12th, just outside the cut line. McIntyre, Watson, Sadal Solera. Can someone make a last-ditch effort here with about 10 seconds remaining? Let's see. McIntyre did not improve. He was about maybe 100th slower. And Sadal Solera got his fastest lap of the race, but only up to 23rd. Even Watson, who was at the tail end of this group getting the benefit of the draft, was 100th slower than his fastest lap. I think this is the last opportunity. This is going to decide it. Rob Evans just jumped up to third moments ago, so he's locked into the next round. Balvin still on the bubble. Oh, they're going to catch some slower traffic here. Lamas and Shelley and Simon Solera. Does anybody improve? Yes, they do. Benyako up to fifth. He'll make it into the next round. Josh Drake up to second. He'll move into the next round. And that eliminated both Balvin and Gray. Look at this. Benny Watson was up to third. He's down to seventh. Young was up in fourth. He's down to eighth. Are they going to get one more lap? They might get one more lap here. They're getting held up by Lamas, Shelley, Tristan Allen, and Simon Solera, but someone might be able to use that for their benefit. Let's see. Are they still going to score them? I don't think so. I think they run out of time. Yep, they did. They were close. A couple more seconds, and they might have been scored another lap, but I'm not sure.
Drivers,
and that's going to do it. Simon Bloomfield by 2 1,000ths has the fastest lap over Josh Drake. So both of the Ward Burton racing cars make it into round 2 for the third straight week, I should say. They both made it into round 2 in their respective divisions back at Armory. They did it last week at Pigs Creek, and they do it again here at M&Ms. That team, I'm telling you what, they know how to put together qualifying cars. Simon Solera jumped up there to third. So the guy who's trying to run down Fury Gamington for the points lead, he's going to make it to round 2. Charles Sanford's in, along with Alex Benyako, Rob Evans, Benny Watson, Dylan Young, Kyle Langland, and Jake Galloway, who started on the pole back at Daytona. He's going to be the last one to make it into the second round of qualifying. So the rest of the field from 11th on down is set. Gray and Balvin, they'll be 11th and 12th. McIntyre, Orman, Stapleton will be your top 15. One driver that we really didn't talk about today, and it shows in the qualifying results, Fury Gamington, the points leader, going to start 33rd here in 2 days at M&M Super Speedway. So we're going to have to see how he does in fighting his way up towards the front, especially with the fact the driver that's trying to run him down for the points lead is going to be starting at least in the top 10. So don't go anywhere. The field is set from 11th on down through 40th. Time to find out who's going to start on the pole here in a couple of days' time at M&Ms. Getting ready for round number 2 here of qualifying. We do have an opportunity for a repeat winner of the pole position. As a matter of fact, all 3 of our pole sitters from this season managed to make it here into the second round of qualifying. One of them you see leaving pit road right now, Dylan Young, got the pole at Pigs Creek last week. Alex Benyako, who also made it here into round 2. He was the pole sitter back at Armory. And Jake Galloway, who sat in the pole at Daytona, also making it into round 2. Let's see where those 10 drivers that transfer here into round 2, where they come into this race in the points and how important starting the top 10 is going to be for them. Simon Solera, he comes into this race second. We've already documented that, 16 points back from Fury Gamington, so obviously trying to get as best of a qualifying position as he can. Benny Watson comes into this race 10th in points, jumping up 15 spots in the standings after a good run last week at Pigs Creek. Charles Sanford also had a good run last week, up to 13th in the standings. Benyako is 17th. Bloomfield, who is fastest in qualifying, he's 18th in points. Dylan Young in 20th. Kyle Langland is 29th. Josh Drake, after the struggles last week at Pigs Creek, he's 30th. Rob Evans, he is 35th coming into this race. And Jake Galloway started out the season great. Started on the pole at Daytona. But he comes into this race dead last, 40th in the standings. So for a struggling team like the 23, certainly would be a big shot in the arm if they could become the first 2-time pole sitter this season. We saw back in Division 1 Round 2 where basically it was a group of 3 cars decided the pole sitter, and the pole sitter was basically decided about halfway through the session. Not much changed after that. Dylan Young crosses the line. First lap time of Round 2 of 46.394. Very quickly beaten by Simon Solera with a 0.84. Bloomfield just took the green. Watson here might be able to make a little bit of a pack with Rob Evans. I don't know if Evans is close enough to get the draft or not. I believe both of them are coming to get the green. Nope, they're not. First official lap time for Watson, a 6.92. Evans actually did take the green flag that time. Charles Sanford, 46.313. Comes Dylan Young for his second lap. Let's see if he can get into the 45s. Watson's the first one. And it's 2.22s across the board for Dylan Young. That only puts him third. Watson held up a little bit there by the 20 of Alex Benyako. As Josh Drake top of the board with a 45.289. His teammate Laurent Lamount's going to be starting on the pole for the Division 1 race. So let's see if Ward-Burton Racing can sweep the poles this weekend. Watson, 45.582. Improves, but not fast enough to get him on the pole. Let's see where Drake is. Drake and Langland were working together. Langland with a 45.387. Drake with a 2.89. Right now that puts him on the pole. Don't think they'll improve this time as both of them side by side. So I'm looking at maybe Watson, Evans, and Benyako to maybe form a group to be able to counter these two. And as soon as I say that, with a little bit of help, Simon Solera just jumped up to the top of the leaderboard. Simon Solera has made it into round 2 of qualifying only once. That was last week when he started second at Pigs Creek. And Rob Evans, there you go. I was wondering if that group was going to work together. Evans, with the draft off of Benny Watson, jumps to the top with a 44.895. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the fastest lap so far this weekend. I don't think any drivers hit the 44s yet. A lot of drivers have hit the low 45s, but wow. That is a lightning lap time, and I'm not certain anybody's going to be able to take the pole away from him. He might actually improve on the lap this time. Let's see. Can he hit a 44.7? Maybe a low 44.8? 44.866. He did improve. Also hitting a 44.8 is Benyako with an 8.84, and Watson third with a 44.901. Benyako's got to get a little closer to Rob Evans if he's going to take the pole away. Evans has the benefit of a car behind him, kind of pushing him, the 20, even though he's not that close, and also a car in front of him offering him the draft, cutting the wind for him. Evans rides it a little bit higher in the corner to get a good exit off and get a big run on the 79. Let's see if he can improve even more. Can he beat an 8.66? He's already laid down the fastest lap of the weekend. 8.73 slower. Watson, top of the board. 8.53 for the Hearst Toyota Camry. By about 1/100th, Watson, the car out in front, turns the fastest lap time. You don't see that very often. It's usually the car that's behind that gets the better lap time. But Watson, how about that? Benny Watson, who comes into this race 10th in points, riding a good wave of momentum after Pigs Creek, he's going to be on the pole. It's official. Wow. That was a shocker for me.
Drivers, to your car.
I thought Rob Evans had it locked up, but with a 44.853, the fastest lap time laid down this whole weekend, Benny Watson's going to start on the pole alongside of, the 65 of Rob Evans. Benyako will be third, Galloway in fourth. We haven't seen cars hit the 44s all week. The low 45s, around a 45.3 is usually the fastest lap we've seen all weekend, even in round 2 of Division 1 qualifying. And 4 drivers hit the 44s here in this session. Drake and Solera, they will make up row 3. Langland Bloomfield will be row 4. Bloomfield was the fastest in round 1. We didn't see that speed really here. And Dylan Young, Charles Sanford, they will make up row 5. We had a chance. We had all 3 of our pole sitters from the previous races make it in here, but we are now 4 races, 4 different pole sitters, as Watson will be the 4th of those drivers that will lead us to green in 2 days' time. Congrats to Benny Watson on an unbelievable lap time, and that's going to start him on the pole position. Hope you guys enjoyed this qualifying session. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and be part of the crew today. And we will see you guys tomorrow for Division 1 race here, race number 4 at M&M Super Speedway. And on Sunday, it's Division 2. We'll see you guys next time as you've been watching Production 8 offline racing at its best. I shouldn't talk so fast ahead of what my brain is thinking. Bye, guys.